everyone, and welcome, welcome, welcome. It is so nice to see you. Karen, Dion, and I are so thrilled that you have found us here on this Sunday, March 9th, in the back room. Happy Daylight Saving Day to you. I hope you're doing well and figured out what time it was. I never know whether I'm supposed to be sleepy or not sleepy or hungry or what the deal is. The time is all out of joint. But it is marvelous, and we are happy that you managed to figure out how to be here right on time. So many of you, 90 people here so far, and they are still arriving. We are so pleased that you are here. Super, super, super welcome to you all. I'm your host for this evening, Hank Philippi Ryan. I'm the USA Today bestselling author of 15, going on 16 novels of suspense. My books have won the Agatha and Anthony and Mary Higgins Clark Award. I'm also the investigative reporter for Boston's WHDH TV, and I've won 37 Emmys for investigative reporting. My current book is called One Wrong Word, which is casually displayed on the door behind me. My new book coming out in September is called All This Could Be Yours, about a debut author with a surprise bestseller who's fearing that a Faustian bargain she made long ago is about to come due. And if you ever want to remember when that book, All This Could Be Yours, is coming out, you can remember that it is coming out the same day as Dan Brown's new book, Lucky Me. So when you hear about, I know all the authors are going, oh no. When you hear about Dan Brown's new book, you just think, oh, my friend Hank has a new book coming out just the same day, right? And that is my marketing, is to piggyback on Dan Brown. Jacqueline Faber, welcome, Jackie, is the author of The Department. Thank you for holding that up right into the camera. Good, good, good. A gripping new psychological thriller, which follows a philosophy professor's obsessive search for a missing college student. Jackie earned her PhD at Emory University and taught at NYU. Her work explores questions about memory, loss, language, and desire. Steeped in philosophical, psychological, and literary themes, her writing is also grounded in studies of character. She lives with her family in Los Angeles, and The Department is her debut novel, and it was just out in February. So congratulations and welcome, Jackie.
Excited to be here.
Yeah, it's great to see you tonight. Thank you. Your book is getting all the buzz, so that is quite. Our next author, Tess Gerritsen, trained as a medical doctor. Tess Gerritsen built a second career as an internationally best-selling novelist. Her 32 novels include The Spy Coast, Gravity, and The Surgeon. She has won both the Nero Wolfe Award and the Rita Award, and Time magazine named The Surgeon as one of the best mystery thrillers ever written. So you can't get better than that. And yet she still does. Her novels featuring homicide detective Jane Rizzoli and Maura Isles inspired the hit TNT television series Rizzoli and Isles. Her novels are translated into 40 languages with more than 40 million copies sold and going strong. Her newest novel, The Summer Guest, hold that up again, The Precious, is the sequel to The Spy Coast, which is now in development as a television series at Amazon Studios, and she lives in Maine. Congratulations, Tess. That is great.
Well, it's great to be back here. This is always a fun evening with you two.
Thank you. Well, we love having you. Thank you so much. 97 people here so far, 3 more people, and we hit the 100. That is marvelous. Andrew Ludington, welcome, Andrew, is the author of the Rabbit Ward series, which you will hear about tonight. And he writes transportive adventure stories intended to make you forget your commute. He graduated from Kenyon College with a BA in English literature and lives in Evanston, Illinois, where he moonlights as a technologist for Northwestern University. His debut novel, Splinter Effect, hits the shelves March 18th. Book 2 in the series, Double Shadow, is planned for release March 17th, 2026. And Tess, your new book comes out on March 18th, too.
Same day.
Gigi, Pandian.
You're my Dan Brown.
You know, Tess is your Dan Brown. Yeah. Gotta tell you, I agree with you.
There's only 52 weeks in the year, right?
Well, and only 52 weeks in the year, and you got to walk into Andrews, okay?
Yeah.
Oh, well, we'll deal with it. We'll deal with it. And welcome to Gigi Pandian, whose book also comes out on March 18th. So there you go. It's a big, big publishing day. Gigi Pandian is a USA Today bestselling author and locked room mystery enthusiast who's been awarded the Agatha, Anthony, Lefty, and Derringer Awards and has been a finalist for the Edgar. Gigi writes the Accidental Alchemist Mysteries, the Jaya Jones Treasure Hunt Mysteries, and the Secret Staircase Mysteries, which are called wildly entertaining by the New York Times. She lives in Northern California with her husband and a gargoyle who watches over the backyard garden. Her new novel, The Library Game, has a body in the library and everybody is a suspect. And again, guess what day the book comes out? March the 18th. I love that. So we'll all go into bookstores or wherever and just get all the books at once.
Yes,
So
March 18th is going to be a fantastic day.
I like it. I like it. We're going to make this into a feature. There's no question about it. The March 18th bestsellers. So let me ask you our beautiful, fabulous 20 questions from the back room. We carefully created these on these special little cards, which Karen and I just love. So let me start with the order I see you on the screen, which means Andrew, you are up first. And can you tell me, do you write with pen, pencil, computer, on a legal pad, or do you have any secret methods and procedures for your writing?
I do write on computer. My handwriting is so illegible that I would not be able to transcribe it myself. So I write on computer, and I'm one of those people who gets up every morning and does it strictly for an hour each morning because that's the amount of time I have.
And how long does it take you to write your book then if you write for an hour every morning?
First draft usually takes me about 8 months.
Great. So what time is early in the morning?
Well, technically I get up at 5:30 and I work out, and then I do an hour of writing, then I get ready for work.
We're just in awe. If I got up at 5:30, I would just be, you'd see my head clonked on the. All right, we'll imagine that and go on to Gigi Pandian. Gigi, you can go anywhere in the world tomorrow and you can come right back home afterward. Where would you go and why?
I'm actually planning a trip to the Highlands of Scotland with my childhood best friend right now. We're planning a big trip for the summer. And so that is what's on my mind. So I will say a remote island in the Scottish Highlands and come right back. I went to Scotland for the first time when I was 10, when my mom was working on updating one of her nonfiction books, and getting to spend the summer in the Scottish Islands when you're 10 is like the most amazing thing to capture your imagination. So I'm going back this summer. So let's go there tonight too. Just pop over and head back.
That's great. What a magical time that must have been. Quite amazing. That sounds great. Tess, would you rather read a sad book or a scary book, and why?
Oh, I would much rather read a scary book because, the world is sad enough. It's like the last thing I want is to have to be crying over characters and, in fictional characters. So yes, scary book. I like scary books and I love to be scared by books.
You sort of were brought up watching scary movies, if I remember, right?
Right. My mother, who was a Chinese immigrant and did not understand English very well, but she did understand the horror films. So I was dragged to horror films all through my childhood, and I realized at that early age that that was the height of entertainment.
So great. That's so formative. I love that. I imagine little you watching The Blob or something. That's I love that. Jackie Faber, what was your first job?
Well, besides all the babysitting jobs I had growing up, my first real job after college. So I was a philosophy student in college. I remember my dad said, "Why are you going to study philosophy? You're never going to get a job." And my first job outside of college was at UC San Francisco Medical Center working in the bioethics department. And I randomly got this job as a researcher with all these doctors working on like biomedical issues. So I felt very lucky to get that job. It was a very cool job.
My first job was at the Dairy Queen. So I'm thinking of you in the philosophy department. That's really cool. And your father was wrong then. So
yeah, he was.
That's great. That's great. So Andrew, please tell us, what book are you recommending to us?
I am recommending The Gods of Gotham by Lindsay Fay. It's the first in a trilogy, and it's a historical police procedural thriller. But what I like about it is that sometimes historicals can feel they keep you a little at arm's length. And I like a historical mystery that makes me feel the immediacy of the time and place, in the same way that you would in a contemporary novel. And I think this book really does that very well.
Yeah, she's terrific. I love this book too. Good choice. Gigi, what about you?
I am going to recommend The Treasure Hunters Club by Tom Ryan. Um, it is so it's a genre mashup that's like an adventure mystery, and it's such a good mystery. And as a mystery reader and writer, it is hard to have a twist that like is done so well and surprises me. This book, it does that. And it's filled with family secrets and pirate lore and a treasure hunt in two timelines in the past and present. So it's just so much fun, and the ending is an even bigger payoff.
Andrew, I saw you agreeing.
Yes, yeah, that's a very fun book.
Great. And Tess?
Okay, well, I'd love to recommend debut novelist, and this is called, can you see it? You Are Fatally Invited by Andre I hope I'm saying her name right, Pliego. And if you love Agatha Christie, if you love like 10 Little Indians, if you love those locked house mysteries, it's about a group of mystery writers. This is what it's about us being invited to a house on an island where they can't get off, and of course, one by one they get killed. So, if you love mysteries, if you love Agatha Christie, and if you love the idea of mystery writers getting killed off, well, this is your book.
I love that book as well. She's so clever, and it's quite an amazing debut. Yes, and she was in the back room, right, you all? She was in the back room a couple of times ago. So she is absolutely wonderful. I agree, Tess.
I was so impressed when I learned that it was a debut. I just read it and I saw that it was a debut author. So I'm like, wow, makes it even more amazing. So yeah.
It's gorgeously structured, don't you think? It's really clever.
And the writing itself was really beautiful because she really gets into what it's like to be a writer. Yeah, it takes a writer to know a writer, I suppose.
Yes, but she cleverly it's layered. So it's good writing, really transporting writing, but also writing about writing. So she manages to do both of those things. Andy, we're talking about you. Jackie Faber, what book would you recommend?
Yeah, so I'm recommending Listen for the Lie by Amy Tintera. And this book has done exceedingly well this year, so I'm sure many people have read it. The reason that I chose it was because as writers, I think we probably all have that experience where we're reading with our reader brain and reading with our writer brain. And I felt my writer brain turned on so much by this book for one reason in particular, and that was the decision that Amy Tintera made to invest her main character with a character quirk that is very extreme, and she does not pull her punches on this. So the book is about a girl who may or may not have murdered her best friend. And the character quirk is that this character cannot walk into a room without envisioning like very gruesome ways that she might like murder people that are in that room. And it's sort of shocking initially, but she just leans into it. And so it produces a little bit of humor. And also I think because I'm sort of interested in this notion of like likability, so many times people will talk about like how likable is this character. And I tend to sort of resist that. And I feel like this is such a great example of a character who's not necessarily likable, but is so compelling that you can't help but sort of follow her all through this story. So both my writer brain and my reader brain were turned on by this work.
We should talk about that in the breakout room, you all, the
Yeah.
likability of characters.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a good question. I'd like to talk about that too. So.
Yeah, me too.
Completely so. Such great choices, you all. And wasn't that fun? We hope you enjoyed that taste of what a backroom session is like. But more fun comes immediately afterward. That's when the audience is broken up into 4 breakout rooms, and each author in turn visits each room. We'd love to show you what a breakout session is like, because those relaxed face-to-face conversations between best-selling authors and readers are the hallmark of backroom events. But breakout sessions are never recorded, because what's said in the back room stays in the back room.